Setting communication streamlines and direct signal location in your panels is all about understanding how to modify your screen locations. The correlation settings attractions, your perceptions over pi has to realign its angle calculation to its scenes. Now, the streams and track lines and height position of its operation surface is re-angling point centers of chart locations. Like I said before, line connections. We all have to come into adaptability of zeros and ones. Try to see your formation lines of zeros and ones of tracks so we can get you guys pixelation screens, T-reception lines, lacing lines, framing lines, and get you into your settings, into coloration screen lines of plasma, get you into your holograms and applications. All right. That's why you guys have line connections and water inside you. You understand how to use it through its earth, its air, its water, and its fire. Coming back into your line connections, which is your fifth element. Now, the attractor's communication line surface at all levels of settings, in position of its locations, all levels of channel streams, guys. Getting your modifications, screen lines, and high center interference and T-reception lines, the lacing line communications. Now, the center correlation set of your inner child has to go with your eye provisions. March 1st, you guys will be animation. Box position travel lines are high correlation setting line connections, box line connections, right? You see its information, right? So I want you to understand the settings and communications. Okay? Open through channels and set lines, high center interference, T-reception line communications, and line calculation. Okay? How it formulates sent position. Right, so it's all about send line connections of its light bulb into its sets lines in its set location. Okay, which is what? Figure 8. Let's do the figure 8. The process of the calculation line is the water containment line stream that sets position of attractions. That's 5 lines that correlation setting travel. Anything above line, screen line interference is 6 over provision. Anything below that is 4 through calculations, 3 through track, 2 line settings, 1 lines, and 0 operation set location. Okay? So in track lines, you always want to be balanced in line connections to flywheel and 8 line connections of travel. Direct calculation lines of all lines into all calculations, Mother Earth, Father Space. Okay? So cloud communication strings, direct lines of panels, 3 lines, central line communication lines of surface and triangulation. Point lines of tracks, 3 platforms, 1, 2, and 3 set location. Okay? Direct modification lines of high center interference, sets position to its operation server location, setting the travels. Point lines of tracks into a box location. Okay? Center correlation high interference puts all communication settings into your line communications and your adaptation surface, all lines, all communications into your computer of track location. See the computer frame? Modulation screens, directing lines of communication of panels, illumination and graph calculation of point centers of travel. Right? Laser connection. Right? Coming into platforms. See the platform come in? There's a platform coming in. See it? All right. So in calculation line settings, it's like a table. Point lines of tracks and high center interference and set location. Okay. All right. So once you have that platform, it comes in line center. Now your eye perception is really understand the platforms. Right over left, left over right. So you have 3 lines in a 4-track location. Right? Setting correlation setting. So this is position location and reverse lines into 3-track locations. Get in that cycles and they come into balance and line setting, into operation, surface, and calculation. Okay, puts everything in position location of balance and all set connections. All right. All right. Very powerful how you come into that line connections, right? Look at it. Look how powerful it is when you see these things in all tractions, right? So surfacing lines of communication is really understand how to connect to your cloud line screens or anything to adaptation of surface. Colossal calculations, E lines, communication lines, equal lines, communication lines of 4, and sets lines of 3, sets communication of 7 through calculation. You're always working with 4 and you're always working with 3. Now the 4 correlating line settings of travels goes in 4-track location. 3 lines of provision, 1, 2, 3 set locations, right? Traffic calculation line center as the sun comes in track lines in high center in its position of its operation surface and track location. Okay, all through compute screen settings. Platforms and communication lines of 0, sets position location of 1, in position of 2, and in position of 3 in platforms and communication. Okay, so it's always understanding. Remember, I was telling you about the dimensional wall line, how to travel through it through its line signature stream. See my hand, it goes in position. But what you can't see is the fingers in between because it's going too fast. See? See? Too fast, right? So in that set lines and how you see your eye perception. Okay. So that's exactly how fast your traffic lines are going through line conditioning your settings of 0s and 1s in set locations. Getting into that setting is adaptability. Getting into that process is a formality. So once you get into that correlation setting, into the track calculation line centers, you have to come in that provisions to your eye cycles. Setting calculation line position of point centers. Okay, this is you in traction. That's you, right? That's you. Now, understanding this is how you guys see, right? You see the grounds, you see the powers, and you see the atmosphere, right? Okay, that's what you see. You've got to get out of that equation. Set your communication line screen and high line. It's in high line rotation interference. It's circulation and rotation. It's to see all around. Okay. Your eye perceptions has to be here, 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 and here. Okay, which is traffic and design. Very powerful. Circuit communication lines, box lines, circuit stream interference, location of data, highways, and set location of travel. Okay, setting communication lines is 0 lines of grounds, setting communication lines of power, direction of time lines, and high line rotation surface, and set line centers and high positions calculation. Okay. So what's spinning interactions? What is spinning interactions? Right? Your flywheel. Flywheel communication line streams, 5 lines, 6 lines, 7 lines, 8 lines of communication. Okay. So if you understand the nucleus core line and calculation of tesseract line communication and line setting, how it interferes to travel communication, you understand, you set the position location of calculations, which is your earth and ground settings, power calculation of point lines, attractions, high center interference, flywheel of recognition. Okay. All right. And so once you get into that settings, everything comes into information locations. So it's important you understand that when you are in calculations and looking, okay, you're not just looking like this anymore. Okay, you're looking like this and like this all around. Okay, so you're looking in this direction, you're looking in this directions, you're looking in this directions, you're looking in this directions, you're looking in that directions, you're looking in this directions, you're looking in that directions. Okay, all around. Okay, that puts you in your system locations to your Merkabah, tesseract, and tetrahedron. Because it's spinning, circulating, spinning, circulating, spinning, circulating, spinning, circulating. Very, 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 very fast, right? So it has this flywheel to keep its balance. It has a direct location setting, location to its orb to keep its set location of balance, and travel calculation to its point line centers and high interference. The travel calculations, point line division. Okay, so that's what you guys have to come into, is your eye lines, your direct setting locations. So when you're in the line calculation setting, let's say you're sitting down. Okay, here's a chair calculation setting. Okay, that's you in track location. Okay, this is you sitting down. That's you sitting down, right? Okay, position location. Here's the couch. There's a couch here. Okay, there's a couch, pillows. Okay, there's a couch, right? All right, so in that set lines, the actual line communication setting is in direct signal communicating with you right away. It's communicating with you, right? Then you got the correlated setting. Let's say this is the TV, okay? That's the TV, right? So you're looking here, here, and here. but you're looking back here, here, and here. Okay? And you're looking up here and you're looking down here all at once. Okay? That's what you got to come into, because you're coming into data stream line conditions to all levels of cobweaving, and code activation line interference and traffic calculation of point centers. So you actually see yourself in a window frame in track location. Okay? You start identifying everything in the room. And that's where it comes into all calculation of square root, longitude and latitude, length and width, and all travel in the same direction set location. All through setting. Okay? All right. So that's what you guys need to practice on. Okay? Getting in that setting time interference, your eye calculation line settings, really understand the correlations. Tractors, communication lines, and settings. How you come into sonar, setting this way in communication. How it goes in the line settings and out through equation line connections. And some line connections, right? So it goes in and then it goes out on the other area line rotation. Okay, so it goes around, circulates, 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 rotates, circulation and rotation. Okay, so if you understand that, then you understand the triangulation line connection, how it formulates all levels of view and traction, right? How to get in that spin cycle and keep yourself going in affinity 8 line connections of travel, direct signal. So in that calculation line settings, you're here again, you're traveling to a higher line position of dimension lines at high calculations, looking up, right? And basically you see yourself going out an infinity line screen out of the equation and set locations. Okay, all through face recognition. Okay? Because everything is in the brain line, the screen lines, high center interference, box frames, triangulation frames, all line center interference, how you see a couch, how you see TV, and how you see anything behind. Okay? So nothing behind, everything's moving forward, right? So in position location calculations, again, setting communication. You're sitting down in a chair. Okay. That's you sitting down in the chair again, right? This time, you're looking at an open window. Okay? So light beams come in right away. Okay? They come in right away. Simulation setting the grounds, set a position location of you in position to skyline, sky grid line connection to its mountain, or anything through its sun, a set location. Okay? It's how you see yourself, how you see yourself to travel. So you go here, and now you're vortexing here. You're over here, but you're still in the chair. Okay, and then you decide to go back, which is moving forward. You don't go back, you move forward. But it's just showing you in positions of what you can do when you're on a chair in vortex location and design, and how you see yourself in perception and calculation. And then you go back to the center. So it goes G, 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 right? So it's the reflection, radiation of light that sets line connections gamma, signatures line communication line centers at timestamp time position at times pi. Sets position to its location setting, looking outside the window and track locations. So in line connections, you're looking straight. Setting communication lines, the actual window comes out of its frame in track location, like this. Okay? It's very powerful when you start looking at things and understanding what you're looking at through the eye perceptions. Okay, how to vortex. So how to go back to where you are. Right? So you're not moving back. You're moving forward. You're just trying to stand you through an acceleration. So it's a continuous force going forward, 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 forward. But you're directing and redirecting. So when you're jump scarring, you go through jump scar and you go to that location. Right? So if you saw a jumper in Christensen, you understand here, 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 here. So if I go back, I'm still going forward. I'm just directing and redirecting myself. So you're never going back in time. To go back in time, you got to change the particle accelerator of you to go back in time. To understand the existence is to understand the parallels. To understand the existence is to understand the paradigms. To understand the existence, to understand the polar shifts, the polarities in your setting in set locations. Okay, to all levels of extraction and set location. Very powerful once you actually see yourself traveling. Okay, see how it's illuminating? It's changing line connections. See? Isn't that amazing? Right? Back where it's supposed to be, right? So you're directing and redirecting your eyes. Your eyes are shifting, right? The only thing that stays is the body, right? There has to be some density around the screen, and that comes into line calculation setting when it comes into the archetypes around your body and set location. Okay, around your body. That's what keeps you in the gravitation. That's what keeps you in the flow. That's what keeps you together. It's a compound of pixelation keep you in formation. So when you're vortexing, all your particles and all your cells and your atoms are going from one place to another. And you're always seeing it in the direct signal. So you're going right over left, left over right. You're not looking straight. Okay, you're not doing this, or this anymore. You're looking around all at once. Okay, you're looking around all at once, right? So you're trying to get comfortability in line connection to what your body's doing. Whoa, right? Or whoa, right? It's like a pendulum. So if you get that position line centers in calculation to its settings, let's see location system, right? Okay, here's a ring. Okay, here's a ring. Okay. So asking questions, reverberation channels, arrow indicate in position locations. Goes this way and goes this way in set locations. Right? So in track locations in line settings, high line and rotation surface, you're actually holding on to it in track location. Get you in provision line cycles and all calculation of its point centers in calculation. Okay, you're actually holding it. So it's going this way, it's going that way, right? So it's telling you yes, or it's telling you no, right? Or it goes around. Okay, so that's what the pendulum swing is doing. It's trying to get itself to understand what you're doing through motion and track location line setting to travel in point tractions and all calculation. Okay, so it's creating a spin cycle. So it goes this way, the pendulum goes this way, you know. The calculations to all levels of the Dawson rods. You have to understand how everything operates through a hologram, not what you see. What you're seeing is an invisible line. So everything is illumination graph screen and line connection settings and all levels of travel in track location, all system, how you see through calculation. Affirmation, attractions. Okay. So your eyes are everything, or what your eyes see. Now understanding what you're seeing is position of traction of direction. Now getting in directions, you're looking here. Okay. So you're going over here and you're going over here. Okay. 3 different line connections. Over here and here. Okay. So you're looking in that directions, and then you're looking here. You're looking here, looking here, looking here, 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 and here, all at once, And you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. The faster you get, the more you create data, the more you create highways, the more you create film strips, line design, calculation of stream interference, calculation modification, cobwebbing, code weaving, line settings, attractions, all set location, your settings, and track location. Okay? Which is a plasma TV reception locations. Okay. So once you get in that correlation lines, here's your lamp. Okay, there's your lamp. Applications, track calculations. Setting calculation line interference, you're going to see it levitates and 3-line communications. It's here now in travel. right? Set location line centers. Here's a chair. Chair is here, okay? So the chair is now traveling, right? It's in its own dimensional line screen, high calculation. It's traveling, see? Set location, here's your car. There's your car communications. There's your car there, right? Your car comes out, travels out of the equation line screen. Now it's floating in set location. Okay? So once you get into that, your reality shifts. Your mind shifts. Your eyes shift. Center correlation line calculation setting high travels. Direct modification lines of 3-line connections. Point lines attracts into 4-line communication and set locations. All right? Setting calculation line interference, how you see your eye in communication. Okay? So it gets easier, but you have to understand what you're doing is you're crossing and you're creating a hologram of its design so you can actually see it in traction. Okay, through the eyes. Okay, it needs a platform. So when it has a platform, the actual dimensional line setting, it can actually travel to its own set location to be comfortable where it is in your track location, your universe. Now it's comfortable, right? Now it can travel wherever it wants. It's free to do whatever it wants because it has a platform now, right? It can go where it wants, right? It's trying to find out where you are in your universe line conditions. So this is now a coffee cup. Set location, so the intelligence wants to figure what it is. Now this was a coffee cup, now it's a box. But it's the same intelligence. See? Because the thing is, it's trying to show you what it is through its own data, what it is through its own travel, of its own existence, of space and time. Okay, so you understand why you have to go right over left, left over right, so you can create the platform so they can get in position and get comfortable in your universe of set time. How it can change anything from this to this to this and back to this. It's showing you what it can do through its own morphing of its own communication of its intelligence. Okay? All right. So that just gives you an example how powerful it is of what you guys are coming into, right? Really understanding that, how you have to have a platform in positions of your eye, how your eye is looking at things. So your eyes over here, your eyes over here, your eyes over here. Try lines of 6 and then go into 9 and then go into 12. Try to set provisions of this set location through your eye, right? So your platform up, platform across, position of the center, downshift, line connect, crossover, straight line, bounce over setting. What did you just create? Through your eye, a highway. So when you create a highway, the X8000 sees the formation, what you just finished doing. So the presence of the eye line centers comes into the center correlation settings of balance, right? Center correlation line settings sets position. So you set up another platform for them so they can land in set location. Okay, very powerful stuff through your eye settings, guys. It becomes more information line screens, right? So you're creating a data highway through your eyes. Your provision cycles is all calculations modified. To really understand what you're doing in position of track line is you're creating a highway, a set design. Now the correlation lines of track lines and high center interference, very powerful, isn't it? Once you get into the correlation lines of calculation in position, it's calculation high stream interference, you understand lights, site locations, site calculation line screens, site position, its operation, site calculations, all right? All right, so that light is looking at you. Okay, it's looking at you. Now you're looking back at it, but left over right and left right over left. Okay, so what you're doing is you're creating a line setting location, the figure 8 line. So in position locations, you add the correlation lines, comes back into the center, and the center communication line, screen line, sets adaptation surface and comes out through its equation location setting and track location. Okay. Now, it communicates back with you in a formation line, scans you into the center of communication. Okay. And again, you have the XT1000s coming by, making sure, oh, what's going on? Right, you guys okay? So they automatically scan you, right? Especially if you're going through light. Okay, so you understand the platforms of zero line grounds, the power position line calculation setting, and position your magnetic high wave formation line cycles in calculation. That's that design, okay? And this is all through light, looking through a lamp, or we're looking through a light post. Anything inside is everything in setting. Understand the travel correlation setting. See that track lines? See location? What is that in tractions? Solar sail. Okay. All right. So now you understand how important it is. So when you get in the lights, it's like this. Okay. Up close, looking through the eye lines. And then you basically see the lines of communication comes in, and then you see the points traveling, right? This is all lines of lights up close. Okay. Getting that position line connection settings on the travel lines, eye receptor lines, you get lacing line communication, lacing line interference, computer frame position location, all through light. The actual solar generation screen lines in position to your system has to really understand how to travel through your solar plexus locations. That's a 4th generation screen line, which is light line tractions that comes into radiation. Study communication of programs is really understanding light up close. So you're automatically in direct signal. You see the mapping sequence of communications all through light, all through radiation. Okay, so in that calculation lines, lacing line communications, XT1000s are here in position tractions. All right, you're always going to see XT1000s in light. They keep the energetic flow. So in that calculating high interference, when you're looking through light really, really up close, okay, it's like looking at your cells inside your body. Light is traveling very, very fast. It's going past light speed. Okay. Light speed to line connection to a sim, okay, is like 0 to 60 in a Porsche. That's just starting off, right? So the faster you go, the more you see light of design of a mapping sequence of communications all through frame, through light post, or anything in set location of lights. See my eye line? See that location lines? It's blue. See the frame position travel calculation of point centers? That's illumination graph lines, right? That's formation lines and my computer line in position location direct signal and dimension lines of screens. Setting correlation line into files and line calculating high position location of 47 lines of data line settings. 47 million lines of data line settings per frame, all through the eye central line connections into the blue surface as the calculation. Now track to its calculation line screen by communication. Now, once you understand that, the modification line screens, the optical line screen interference changes formations of travel. They change formations of travel. Okay, when they change formations of travel, the center correlation settings of light signals and high interference, each calculation lines, all lights all together formulate in position locations of compute screens, which means they all communicate to all once in line connection to you and framing through your eye. Very complicated stuff, right? So you get one light post and you get another light post and another light post and another light post. So you expand through the eye and you're seeing more lines of graphs and maps and sequences and light signals and light travels and radiation graphs and communication graphs and radiation line settings and high interference or rotation, surface location, circulation, position, or travel. Very complicated stuff when you start to see through the eye line centers of lights. Okay, very powerful stuff. All right, now getting into that traction, like I said, so what you're doing through the eye line setting, it's creating a data highway. Okay, So what the team needs to do, and everybody else, is understanding how to see the eye line and track location, always in forms. This way, this way, this way, and this way. Start with the 4-track location. Right? So what happens, because we all circus line communications in the frame lines of the eye, right? Now, the set lines highest interference, but theta communication lines are 3 triangulation line settings and set locations. Directing lines of communication. So now you got an eye indicating this way. Now you got an eye indicating this way. So you're adding. Now you got an eye indicating this way, right? And then you got an eye indicating this way. 3 your right or 3 your left. It doesn't matter. But what are you creating? A box frame. Okay? So when you create that box frame, everything that's in your circulation lines, which is your parameters of your torical fields, comes in system. So in calculation lines, somebody walking line connections, somebody's walking here, right? And let's say they have light tractions into all levels of their eyes, and you catch that. That goes right into your eye setting, through reflection, right? Okay, so it's a direct signal, isn't it? So that light picks up from the other person's light of their glasses or anything through their book or anything that has light. Light is traveling very fast through radiation. But you have to understand what it's doing through tractions because it's trying to communicate with you through set line connections. This is a magnetic force alliance on location setting. Now we refer that location of a trance that puts you in a magnetic field in track locations. Balances out your line settings and high line rotation in set location in center connections. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty amazing when you come into that set locations, all through light, through the eye center. So start with the 4-line provision, which is north, west, south, and east. Look up, this way, and down, right? But try, when you're looking, you're here. Look straight here, but you see up here, and you see up here, see you're here, right? So you're looking straight, but you can see the corners now at the top. You don't need to go this and see the corners because it's showing you exactly what it is through frame. All right, so you're here, right? And you're seeing it through box frame already in position of vision. All right, in position of vision of the corners. You don't need to see it because it's already there, right? The corners aren't going to move. They're already there. But if you center your communication settings, you can see over here now. You can see over here, but you see everything through a box frame. But I'm looking straight here, right? Now I'm looking at the camera, and I see everything that's below. I see everything that's above. So it's really getting a direct line connections where your eye is in provision, how it sees through its light. Sees through its light because it's traveling, right? The soul is traveling through light. Now, when it travels through light, it has to stand its time, which is the heart. It's the timeline of the reactor. And the mind is navigating. And the body is in the conception of a reaction, which is all levels it's setting of its consciousness. It's morphing. All right? So wherever the mind goes, the body follows. That's what makes it phenomenal. Okay? The set locations, the travel, right? So this is practice that you guys can get into. It gets much easier when you realize that there are corners, but you don't have to look at them because you know what they are. And you see them. Stay here. You see this way, you see up, you see down, you see cross line signals, you see over here, you see over here. You know it hasn't moved, it's still there, but now you see it up close in box frame. You see it through the corner of your eyes. Okay, right over left, left to right. So again, remember, you're in the set lines of a platform of the eye. So the eye itself is its crop circle of its clocking. Now you know. Sets position lines of 4. Okay, sets position lines of 3. Okay, sets a platform of its location, of its hologram setting of design. Okay, that's how you start seeing. So you can't do this anymore. You can't look straight ahead. Okay, because your eyes are changing. The perception lines, the frames are changing, right? So it's about crossing. Okay, right over left. creates the platform of its hologram, of its design. Okay, it needs a platform. Okay, or you won't be able to see the intelligence. Okay, everything has to have a platform, like it's Star Wars, right? Everything has to have a platform of its hologram. This is the location, that's its image. Everything needs a platform. If it doesn't have a platform, it doesn't have its consistency of travel, right? So it needs its archetypes and it needs its gravitation to keep it alive, right? So if it has the archetypes, but it doesn't have a platform, what is happening in setting? If this doesn't have, it's just going to continue like this, but it's not going to create anything to its image. Okay, so it needs an image. And that's the compound with its gravitation of your Earth that goes so fast in ground line setting and all calculations position that's keeping you in set locations. It's an infusion, okay, in setting. Okay, so your ground is going very, very fast, very, very fast, and it's keeping you together as pixelation. And the archetypes keep you in structure of division, keep you in that rotation, right? Very, very fast, right? So when you get into that, everything comes in information. So it's about keeping the pixelations together. Now, in that set lines high interference, you come in all correlation settings of track lines of zeros and ones. Getting that position of pixelation, getting that into hologram, turn your hologram into plasma, you're good to go, right? That's how it's all set up in traction, right? So that's what it is, going very, very fast, the grounds. Okay, you're standing on the ground. This is you. That's you standing on the ground, right? And you have the archetypes going around you. Okay, so this is what the archetypes do. They keep you structured. Okay, they keep you together. So it's a compound. Okay, basically when you have hot and cold, it forms into what? Right, a foundation, a pixelation. Okay, so you have to understand how this is all set up now. Okay, how everything grounds you through its powers and its atmospheres. Okay, it's a design line connections. So once you get to that, then you get into the set lines in your flywheel. All right, then you get in, there's 3 circles, lines of communication. Okay, then you have to understand another panel, which is 4-line division and traction. Right, security line defense. Right, so you have to understand how you guys are in that calculation. Then you have your torical fields. Torical field is a dome. Okay, it's like this. Kind of looks like a fishbowl in set location. Okay, so that's how you're set up. Every single time you guys get up in the morning in set locations, you're standing on a crystal grid. Okay, through its gravitation, through its grounds, through its archetypes, and set location. Okay, that's how you guys are set up, right? So and then you have your cloud above. Okay, that gives you all the information setting to the server. Okay. It's very powerful what you guys are coming into. Really understand how you guys are connected to your settings and track locations. All right, so start to see yourself in this location in this formation. Okay, start to see it in location. Okay, so as you're spinning very fast in the same directions, you're good to go. All right, it's the center core, okay, of the nucleus line connections that puts everything in traction and balance. Okay, so then you have the atoms. Okay, here's the atoms and sublocations. Right, they have the molecules in structure already, fractals going around line setting high track location. Okay, and so then you have the protons and electrons, the positive surge, the negative surge, positive wires, negative wires, calculating high position drop, calculation line position point centers, comes in position location, your settings, and travel in your structure of your Merkaba, tesseract, and tetrahedron of design. Okay, And you just travel out. Okay, you travel. Okay, you travel. Okay. So keep yourself grounded in all ways and forms through your earth. Okay. So now you understand these settings. I'm pretty sure the team is in central calculation line interference. How your higher self is now a calculation line interference equals lines of the transistors and resistors. This location, your avatar, easy location is your binary. And your sim, okay, equals lines of communication is your computer. And set location. Okay? These are the things that we have to understand how this all works inside design. How to use the higher self through transition resistors, don't overload sequences or anything through location. How to use the avatar through its binary, because it's coming in its own compound and location of zeros and ones, how it travels into location of its traffic and set design and connection with settings, all to its Hanway highway and its data stream interference. And its sim is its actual simulation of its computer, of its hardware and software. Okay? So I think it's important you understand that where it is going and it's setting two set locations of U instructions, right? How to use that all through your system, right? Through I division and calculation. Okay? We all live inside, guys. It's the eyes and windows of the soul that comes to life, right? So we have to learn how to basically understand how to go through that provision, your peripherals, and how to use it all the way just by standing still. So when you walk in a room, you're not looking here and here and here. You're looking straight because you can see. Your eyes are everywhere, right? But they're in box frame, right? So when you first start off, yes, you got to look up because you're not aware. You know they're there, especially if you're walking in a building that you've never been in before. But it's not before. You've already been there, but you have to understand why you're there is the how. And that comes into the oversoul that's already created itself through its own holographic setting, which puts it in position of its location of its holographic setting. I said design, okay? It understands the builders of itself. It understands the modification of itself. It understands the travels of itself, okay? Self-anomaly is set lines in its existence, sets position travels in all calculations, okay? His or hers, doesn't matter. What matters is you come into your existence. How to see through your eye perception is everything through calculations. Because now your information is to really understand, you're getting direct line connections through light, okay? And you have to understand what's inside light, how to see it through its graph, how to see it through its map, how to communicate with its settings, right? How to understand the zeros and ones interactions, what's inside a light, and how fast is it going to your system inside line connections. It's all about how you see in direct line connections to your eyes of seeing. Okay. So all right, so the travel position and travel calculation of point centers is really understand how your eyes are creating data highways. It's trying to understand its formation. It's trying to understand its territory. Everything has a territory. Everything has a line mark, right? I'm here, you're over there, right? So I'm protecting myself and everything around this system. You're on that system. I'm on this system. So that's where we come in to engage and disengage. So it's all about understanding relativity. Okay. To understand that is to understand its ratios and its proportions and its distance between you and somebody else. That's the kind of high interference when it comes into general relativity. That's set design. You know, your settings and position location is understand you through light and travel to really understand how light travels through you, right? But you also have to understand the light becomes you. And when the light becomes you, you know what it is through its intelligence. So if you know what it is through its intelligence, then you can understand how to communicate with its light, of its intelligence. You have to be in that formation of light first. You have to learn how to travel through different lights, line settings, which is different radiations at gamma. Okay? Yes, I know it's looping line screens. Well, because light tractions is going very fast in travel. Okay? But I just want you to understand how you guys come into this application through your eye centers and how you create data highways and how to formulate through light through set locations. Okay? That's it. All right. See you soon.